Hoenn Pokédex is completed, so enjoy all 135 Pokemon in one big video in all Pokédex in a minute combined for this region. From tomorrow we are starting the Sinnoh region, Gen 4. Excited about this too, but excited that I have completed the region of Hoenn, which was the region that I grew up to. I watched the earlier versions too. I watched the Gen 1 first, but the Hoenn region was when I got into Pokemon more. Then after it came Sinnoh. So enjoy all 135 Pokemon from Treecko to Deoxys. From tomorrow we are starting the Sinnoh region, and after all of that we're gonna have one big video where all the Pokédex entries are gonna be in. So as for today, as I said, enjoy 135 Hoenn Pokemon, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, and today we are starting our journey in Hoenn and Gen 3. We are swinging into the Hoenn region with the cool and calm grass type starter Treecko. Treecko, the good gecko Pokemon, is a pure grass type and the very first Pokemon in the Hoenn Pokédex. Known for its calm attitude and powerful tail, Treecko can climb vertical walls with ease and is often seen as a symbol of composure. Treecko at level 16 evolves into Grovyle, becoming faster and more agile. Then at level 36 it evolves into the mighty Sceptile, a sleek blade-wielding powerhouse that can mega evolve in later games. Treecko's usual ability is Overgrow, boosting its grass-type moves when it's in a pinch. Fun fact, in the anime, Ash's Treecko was known for its tough personality and iconic twig chewing habit, making it one of his most memorable partners. So that's it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and Treecko, hit like if you're a Hoenn fan and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's episode of Pokédex in a minute. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are slicing into the tall grass with the agile and stealthy Grovyle. Grovyle is a grass type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3, known as the good gecko Pokemon. It's a evolved form of Treecko. With its leaf blades and tree jumping agility, Grovyle thrives in dense forests. Treecko evolves into Grovyle at level 16 and later into the majestic Sceptile at level 36. Each evolution boosts its speed and stealth. Grovyle is fast, fierce and full of flair. Grovyle usually has the Overgrow ability, but can also have Unburden as a hidden ability, doubling its speed when it loses a health item. Fun fact, in the anime, Ash's Grovyle was a total fan favorite for its cool attitude and clutch battle wins. In competitive play, Grovyle's speed and access to Leaf Blade and acrobatics make it a sneaky threat in lower tiers. So that's Grovyle in a nutshell, and for today's Pokédex in a minute episode. Like what you see, hit the like button and come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're slicing into the third evolution of Treecko. Meet the forest Pokemon Sceptile. Sceptile is a grass type Pokemon in the final evolution of Treecko, introduced in Generation 3. Known as the forest Pokemon, it's sleek, fast and sharp, literally. Sceptile's leafy blades on its arms make it a fierce fighter and a fan favorite in Hoenn. Treecko evolves into Grovyle at level 16 and then into Sceptile at level 36. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Sceptile can Mega Evolve into Mega Sceptile, gaining a secondary Dragon typing and a huge boost in speed and special attack. Sceptile's standard ability is Overgrow, but it can also have Unburden as its hidden ability, doubling its speed when it loses its health item. Fun fact, in the anime, Ash's Sceptile took down Tobias Darkrai, yes, then Darkrai in the Sinnoh League. So that's it for today's Pokédex in a minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Like and follow for more quick dives into your favorite Pokemon. Is Sceptile your favorite starter, final evolution? Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're heating things up with the fiery little chick from Hoenn, Torchic. Torchic, the chick Pokemon, is a pure fire type introduced in Generation 3. It's a fire type starter of the Hoenn region and is known for the flame it carries inside its belly, which it can shoot out in powerful bursts. Torchic evolves into Combustion at level 16 and then into the powerful Blaziken at level 36, gaining the dual fire fighting typing. Blaziken even got a Mega Evolution in later games, boosting its power even further. Torchic's usual ability is Blaze, which powers up fire type moves when HP is low. Its hidden ability is Speed Boost, which increases its speed at the end of every turn. Fun fact, in the anime, May chose Torchic as her starter in the Hoenn region and evolved into a fierce Blaziken later in the series. So that's it for Torchic and today's Pokédex in a Minute video, the little chick with a fiery future. Who was your first Hoenn starter? Tell me in the comments, like, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series, and today's spotlight is on the fiery heart of Hoenn, Combusken. Combusken, the young foul Pokemon, is a dual type fire fighting type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. It evolves from Torchic and packs a punch, literally with blazing kicks and high energy. Combusken is known for its speed and power in close combat. Torchic evolves into Combusken at level 16 and then becomes a mighty Blaziken at level 36. This evolution line is one of the most iconic from the Hoenn region. Combusken can have the ability Blaze, boosting its fire-type moves in a pinch. Its hidden ability, Speed Boost, increases its speed every turn, a favorite in competitive battles. Fun fact, in the anime, Maze Combusken showed off serious skills in Pokemon contests, combining style and strength. And that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. If you are fired up for more, like, subscribe, and come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's spotlight is on the blazing hot firefighting Pokemon Blaziken. Blaziken, the Blaze Pokemon, is a dual fire and fighting type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its powerful kicks and fire moves, Blaziken became an instant fan favorite when it debuted as the final evolution of Torchic, the Hoenn region's fire type starter. Blaziken evolves from Combusken starting at level 36, after beginning as the adorable Torchic at level 1. With each evolution, it gains strength and speed and a much more intimidating presence. Blaziken's standard ability is Blaze, but in later generation it can have Speed Boost, which raises its speed every turn, making it a competitive powerhouse. Fun fact, Blaziken was the first fire fighting starter, starting a trend that lasted through 3 generations. So that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. If Blaziken fired you up, hit the like button and tell me if he's your favorite starter for a fire type. So, I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's spotlight is on the lovable water type starter from Hoenn, Mudkip. Mudkip, the mud fish Pokemon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. This blue amphibian is known for its strong jaw and cute orange cheeks. It's the starter choice in the Hoenn region's Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald games. Mudkip evolves into Marshtomp at level 16, gaining the ground type and then into the powerful Swampert at level 36, making it a water ground type tank. Mudkip's ability, Torrent, boosts its water type moves when its HP is low. And fun fact, in a 2005 Japanese poll, Mudkip was ranked the most popular starter Pokemon, even before memes made it famous with "So I heard you like Mudkips." So, now that is it for the Pokédex in a Minute video for Mudkip. Tell me in the comments and like if you are a proud Swampert fan, and tune in tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are diving into the mud fish Pokemon from Hoenn, it's Marshtomp. Marshtomp is a dual water ground type Pokemon and the evolved form of Mudkip, first introduced in Generation 3. With orange cheeks and webbed limbs, it thrives in both water and muddy terrain. Talk about amphibious power. Marshtomp evolves from Mudkip at level 16 and then becomes a powerful Swampert at level 36. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Swampert can even Mega Evolve into a muscular rain summoning beast. Marshtomp's ability is Torrent, boosting water type moves when its HP is low. It's also completely immune to electric type attacks thanks to its ground typing, a huge edge in battles. Did you know Marshtomp's Pokédex says it can move more easily on land than in water? These mud lover's legs are super strong. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Marshtomp. Hit like if you are a Marshtomp fan and don't forget to subscribe and don't miss tomorrow's episode of Pokédex in a Minute. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're diving into the Mudfish Pokemon Swampert. Swampert is a dual water ground type Pokemon and the final evolution of Mudkip, introduced in Generation 3, known for its power and versatility. Swampert is famous for having only one weakness, grass types. Mudkip evolves into Marshtomp at level 16 and then into Swampert at level 36. With each evolution it gets stronger and bulkier, perfect for both offense and defense. Swampert's ability, Torrent, boosts its water-type moves when HP is low, but in its Mega Evolution it gains Swim, doubling its speed in rain. Fun fact, Swampert can predict storms and even tow boulders, some say it can drag a boat with ease. In competitive play, Swampert is a popular tank and a stealth rock setter. Its immunity to electric moves make it a strong pivot against special attackers. Swampert is likely inspired by Axolotis and Mudskippers, combining amphibious traits with a powerful, almost kaiju-like design. And that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Swampert. If you love Hoenn starters, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment who your favorite water type starter is. I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video. Today we are heading into the Hoenn region with the fierce and scrappy Poochyena. Poochyena is a dark type Pokemon known as the Bite Pokemon. It's based on a hyena and has a strong pack instinct, native to Hoenn. This Pokemon may be small, but it's got attitude, often chasing prey larger than itself. At level 18, Poochyena evolves into Mightyena, gaining a slicker look and an even more intimidating presence. Mightyena becomes a reliable early game partner with solid dark type moves. Poochyena can have the ability Run Away or Quick Feet. Quick Feet boosts its speed if it's affected by a status condition. Fun fact, in Pokemon Emerald, it's one of the first Pokemon you battle when you save Professor Birch. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Poochyena, like, follow and come back tomorrow as we take a bite out of the next entry in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are diving into the wild world of Mightyena, the first Pokemon from Generation 3. Mightyena, known as the Bite Pokemon, is a dark type Pokemon introduced in the Hoenn region. It's known for its pack mentality and sharp fangs, resembling a wild hyena or wolf. Mightyena is loyal and tough, often hunting in groups for better success. Mightyena evolves from Poochyena, starting at level 18. While it doesn't evolve further, Mightyena stands strong on its own with solid stats and a tough appearance. Mightyena's abilities include Intimidate, which lowers the opponent's attack stat when it enters battle, and Quick Feet, which boosts its speed if it has status conditions. Fun fact, Mightyena's howl was inspired by wolf howls, adding to its intimidating presence in the wild. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Mightyena. Like, subscribe, comment who's your favorite dark type Pokemon, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hey trainers, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are taking a look at one of Hoenn's most curious critters, Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon, the tiny raccoon Pokemon, is a normal type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its zigzag running pattern, it's always dashing around out of curiosity, often sniffing the ground for items. Its behavior makes it one of the first Pokemon new trainers often encounter in Hoenn. Zigzagoon evolves into Linoon at level 20, and here's a twist: in the Galar region, Galarian Zigzagoon evolves into Galarian Linoon, and then into the Punk-style Obstagoon at level 35. It can have the abilities Pickup, which lets it find items after battle, or Gluttony in its Galarian form. Fun fact, Zigzagoon's zigzag running pattern is based on how real animals like raccoons behave when searching for food. In early games it was a fan favorite for its item finding skills. And that's a wrap on today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Zigzagoon. Got a favorite Zigzagoon form? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment who's your favorite type of Pokemon, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are speeding ahead with the lightning fast normal type Pokemon, Linoon. Linoon, the Ratching Pokemon, is a normal type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its incredible speed and sleek, ferret-like body, Linoon is native to the Hoenn region and is the evolved form of Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon evolves into Linoon starting at level 20, and in the Galar region, Linoon gets a regional form, Galarian Linoon, which can evolve further into Obstagoon when leveled up at night. Linoon's common abilities include Pickup and Gluttony, making it great for finding hidden items. Fun fact, in the games, Linoon is one of the few Pokemon that could learn both Surf and Extreme Speed, which made it surprisingly versatile in the field and in battles. So that is it for today's spotlight on Linoon. Think it deserves more love? Drop a like, hit subscribe. Tell me your favorite dark type Pokemon in the comments and check back tomorrow for the next awesome entry in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are spotlighting the tiny but tenacious bug type Wurmple. Wurmple, the worm Pokemon, is a pure bug type introduced in Generation 3. You'll often find it crawling through forests in the Hoenn region. Don't let its small size fool you, this little bug has two different evolution paths. Wurmple evolves at level 7, but here's the twist. It can evolve into Silcoon or Cascoon randomly, depending on its hidden personality value. From there, Silcoon becomes Beautifly and Cascoon becomes Dustox. Wurmple's main abilities include Shield Dust, which blocks added effects from attacks, and did you know Beautifly is a great special attacker while Dustox is more defensive. So your Wurmple's path can shape your entire strategy. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode. And Wurmple, Beautifly or Dustox, which team are you on? Tell me in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are cocooning with a Pokemon that's all about change, it's Silcoon. Silcoon, the cocoon Pokemon, is a pure bug type introduced in Generation 3. It's the evolution of Wurmple and the sign that Beautifly is just around the corner. Found clinging to tree branches, Silcoon quietly prepares for its transformation. Here's the twist, Wurmple evolves into either Silcoon or Cascoon, depending on hidden personality values. Silcoon then evolves into Beautifly at level 10, bringing color and grace to your team. Silcoon's ability is Shed Skin, which gives it a 1 in 3 chance each turn to heal status conditions. Pretty handy while waiting to evolve. Fun fact, despite not doing much in battle, Silcoon was featured in the anime as May's Wurmple evolved unexpectedly, surprising even her. So that is it for Silcoon and today's Pokédex in a Minute video. Think your Wurmple will become Silcoon or Cascoon? Tell me in the comments and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are fluttering into the Hoenn region with the elegant and striking Beautifly. Beautifly, the butterfly Pokemon, is a dual type bug flying Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. With its vibrant wings and graceful appearance, it's often compared to a real butterfly, but don't be fooled by its looks, it can be surprisingly aggressive. Beautifly evolves from Silcoon, which itself evolves from Wurmple, starting at level 7. Here's the twist, Wurmple's evolution path is random, it can become either Silcoon, leading to Beautifly, or Cascoon, which evolves into Dustox. Beautifly's main ability is Swarm, which boosts its bug type moves when HP is low. Its high special attack make it a strong early game special attacker. Fun fact, Beautifly uses its long proboscis to suck up sweet nectar, but it's also known to aggressively defend its territory. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Beautifly. Do you prefer Beautifly or Dustox? Tell us in the comments and stay tuned for tomorrow's Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're covering one of the lesser known cocoon Pokemon, but totally underrated one. It's of course Cascoon. Cascoon is a bug type Pokemon known as the cocoon Pokemon. It's the evolved form of Wurmple and it's part of one of the two branching evolution paths. With its tough purple shell and blank stare, Cascoon stays still to conserve energy as it prepares for its final form. Cascoon evolves from Wurmple starting at level 7, but only if Wurmple's hidden personality values push it down this evolution path. At level 10, Cascoon evolves into Dustox, a bug poison type moth Pokemon with toxic wings. Cascoon has the ability Shed Skin, which gives it a chance to heal from status conditions every turn, perfect for a cocoon Pokemon biding its time. Did you know, despite barely moving, Cascoon remembers every attack it endures while evolving and it holds a grudge. So that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Cascoon, who knew a cocoon could be so cool? Hit the like button and join us tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're talking about the Pokemon that flies by night and fights with poison. Of course, it's Dustox. Dustox is a dual type back poison Pokemon known as the Poison Moth Pokemon. With glowing red eyes and toxic powder on its wings, it's a nocturnal flyer often drawn to city lights, just like real moths. Dustox evolves from Cascoon starting at level 10, but remember, this whole path starts with Wurmple, whose evolution into Cascoon or Silcoon is random, based on hidden personality values. Dustox's ability Shield Dust protects it from added effect of enemy moves like being burned or paralyzed. Fun fact, in the Pokemon anime, Jessie from Team Rocket had a Dustox that played a big emotional role, eventually flying off to start a new life with a mate in one of the show's most heartfelt episodes. And that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode at Dustox. If you love underappreciated back types, Dustox deserves a second look. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're diving into the Hoenn region with a Pokemon that's part plant, part pond. It's Lotad. Lotad, the water weed Pokemon, is a dual water grass type introduced in Generation 3. It has a lily pad on its back that it uses like a raft to float on water. This Pokemon is usually found in calm lakes and ponds. Lotad evolves into Lombre starting at level 14 and then into Ludicolo when exposed to a water stone. With each evolution it becomes more energetic and well, more into dancing. Lotad's abilities include Swift Swim, which boosts its speed in rain, and Rain Dish, which helps it recover HP during rain. Fun fact, in early development, Lotad was originally based on a Kappa, a mythical Japanese water creature. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Lotad. Like, comment, let us know if you have ever used Lotad on your team, and tune in for tomorrow's Pokédex in a Minute. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, then daily Pokemon short series. Today we're diving into the swamps and rivers to meet a playful Pokemon with a lily pad hat. It's of course Lombre. Lombre, the jolly Pokemon, is a dual water type water grass Pokemon known for its mischievous nature and its ability to blend in with its aquatic surroundings. First introduced in Generation 3, Lombre hails from the Hoenn region, evolving from the adorable Lotad. Lombre evolves from Lotad at level 14, and here's when it gets interesting. To get its final form, Ludicolo, Lombre needs a water stone. That's right, the special evolution item transforms it into the dancing pineapple Pokemon. Lombre often has the ability Swift Swim, which boosts its speed in the rain, or Rain Dish, which restores HP in the rain. Did you know Lombre is often depicted as quite the trickster in the anime, sometimes playing pranks on unsuspecting trainers with its big lily pad. And that's our splash for Lombre on today's Pokédex in a Minute episode. If you want to keep up with all the Pokemon, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're grooving into the Hoenn region with a happy-go-lucky Ludicolo. Ludicolo, the carefree Pokemon, is a dual water grass type. Its body resembles a dancing pineapple and its constant rhythm is powered by joyful music. First introduced in Generation 3, Ludicolo is a fan favorite from the Hoenn region. Ludicolo evolves from Lombre when exposed to a water stone, which in turn evolves from Lotad at level 14, from a little lily pad to a tropical dancer. It's quite the transformation. Ludicolo's common ability is Rain Dish, which lets it regain HP during rain, perfect for rain dance teams. Fun fact, in Detective Pikachu, Ludicolo makes a hilarious cameo as a coffee shop server with a beat you can't ignore. And that's Ludicolo in a Minute, the Pokemon daily series episode for today. Feeling the rhythm yet? Come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment who's your favorite Pokemon. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Ever seen an acorn with attitude? Meet Seedot, the acorn Pokemon with surprising strength. It's today's feature. Seedot is a pure grass type Pokemon from Generation 3. It's known as the acorn Pokemon, and when it hangs from trees it can be mistaken for an actual nut. It stores nutrients by photosynthesis. At level 14, Seedot evolves into Nuzleaf and then into the powerful Shiftry when exposed to a Leaf Stone. Seedot's abilities include Chlorophyll, which boosts its speed in sunlight, and Early Bird, letting it wake from sleep faster. Fun fact, in the anime, Seedot's love for balance often gets it into hilarious situations. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode. And Seedot, what's your favorite forest Pokémon that you can find in the tall grass? Oddish or Phantom or Seedot? Let us know in the comments and come back tomorrow for more Pokédex fun and the next Pokémon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokémon short series. Today we are diving into the mysterious forest-dwelling Pokémon Nuzleaf. Nuzleaf, the wild Pokémon, is a dual-type grass dark Pokémon introduced in Generation 3. With its leafy head and wooden body, Nuzleaf is known for living deep in the woods and playing tricks on travelers. Nuzleaf evolves from Seedot at level 14 and later evolves into Shiftry when exposed to a leaf stone. As it evolves, it takes on more of a ninja-like mystical look, perfect for its tricky nature. Nuzleaf can have the ability Chlorophyll, which boosts its speed in sunny weather, or Early Bird, helping it wake up quickly from sleep. Fun fact, Nuzleaf's long nose is used to play music, and it says that its melodies can instill fear or unease in people. And that is it for Nuzleaf. Bonus fact, the name Nuzleaf helped inspire the term Nuzlocke Challenge, a popular way to play Pokémon with added difficulty and emotional stakes. Tell me if you like the video, comment who's your favorite grass type Pokémon, and tune in tomorrow for the next entry in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokémon short series. Today we are looking at a powerful and mysterious forest guardian, it's Shiftry. Shiftry, the wicked Pokémon, it's a grass dark type from Generation 3. It has a humanoid body, a long white mane and massive leaf fans for hands, perfect for summoning powerful gusts of wind. Shiftry evolves from Nuzleaf when exposed to a leaf stone, completing the Seedot evolution line. While Seedot starts off shy and acorn-like, Shiftry becomes a fearsome force of nature. Shiftry has the Chlorophyll ability, doubling its speed in sunny weather. Fun fact, according to its Pokédex entry, Shiftry lives at the tops of ancient trees and can create windstorms with just a wave of its leafy hands. Bonus fact, in battle, Shiftry is a strong mixed attacker and can learn a wide range of moves, like Leaf Blade, Foul Play and even Hurricane through TMs. And that is it for Shiftry and today's Pokédex in a Minute episode. Like, subscribe and come back tomorrow to uncover more hidden gems from the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokémon short series. Today we're flying into the Hoenn region with the tiny swallow Pokémon Treecko. Treecko is a dual-type normal flying Pokémon introduced in Generation 3. Despite its small size, it's incredibly brave, often standing up to foes much larger than itself. Native to the Hoenn region, it's a common sight early in your journey through Route 104. At level 22, Treecko evolves into Swallow, a sleek and fast aerial ace with increased speed and power. Swallow is known for its loyalty and lightning-fast attacks. Treecko has the ability Guts, which boosts its attack stat if it's affected by a status condition, like burn or poison. Fun fact, in the anime, Ash caught a Treecko that led a whole flock and wasn't afraid of battling Pikachu. So that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and the daily Pokemon short series. Hit that like button and fly back in tomorrow as we cover the next awesome Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are soaring through the skies with the swift and fearless Swallow. Swallow, the swallow Pokemon, is a dual-type normal flying Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. Known for its speed and loyalty, Swallow is a popular pick among Hoenn trainers, and for a good reason. Swallow evolves from Treecko starting at level 22. It keeps Treecko's bravery but gains a sleek aerodynamic body that's built for high-speed aerial battles. Swallow's usual ability is Guts, which boosts its attack when it's affected by a status condition, making it a real threat even when burned or poisoned. Fun fact, Ash's Swallow in the anime once battled a shiny Deoxys during a flying contest and pulled off some wild aerial moves. And that's a wrap on Swallow. If you like the video, comment who's your favorite flying type Pokemon, like, subscribe, and glide back here tomorrow for another awesome Pokemon and the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Panels why again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, then daily Pokemon short series. Today we're flying high with a coastal favorite from Hoenn. It's Wingull. Wingull, the seagull Pokemon, is a dual type water flying Pokemon. With its long wings and gliding flight, Wingull is often seen soaring over oceans, using updrafts to fly effortlessly. First introduced in Generation 3, it's a common sight on Hoenn's beaches. Wingull evolves into Pelipper at level 25. When it evolves, it gains a huge beak, useful for scooping up food or even smaller Pokemon. So, Wingull's main abilities include Keen Eye, which prevents its accuracy from being lowered, then Hydration, its hidden ability, which heals status conditions in rain. Fun fact, in the anime, a Wingull named Pete was used by a courier to deliver mail, turning this bird into a postal service. So that's a wrap on Wingull. Did you ever train one on your Hoenn journey? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment who's your favorite flying / water type Pokemon, and follow for tomorrow's Pokédex in a Minute video. Hello guys, Paddles why again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, then daily Pokemon short series. Today's spotlight, the water bird Pokemon Pelipper. Pelipper is a water flying type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. Known for its huge beak, it scoops up prey and even carries items or smaller Pokemon inside. It's commonly found near the sea and often used as a messenger Pokemon. Pelipper evolves from Wingull starting at level 25. While Wingull is small and fast, Pelipper becomes more of a tanky support in battles. Pelipper's standout ability is Drizzle, which automatically makes it rain when it enters battle, perfect for powering up water-type moves or enabling rain teams. Fun fact, in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Pelipper was often seen carrying mail between islands, basically the pelican postman of the Pokemon world. And that's a wrap for today's Pokemon Daily. Tell me who your favorite flying / water type is in the comments, like, follow and join us tomorrow for the next entry in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddles why again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're kicking off a graceful journey with the shy but powerful Ralts. Ralts, the feeling Pokemon, is a psychic fairy type introduced in Generation 3. This little empath senses the emotions of people and Pokemon. If it senses kindness, it will even approach you. Ralts evolves into Kirlia at level 20. From there, it can become either Gardevoir or, if it's male and given in Dawnstone, Galad, a rare case of a branched evolution line. Ralts can have Synchronize or Trace as its ability. Both help it mirror the battlefield. Did you know Ralts is incredibly shy and will teleport away if it senses hostility? But under a caring trainer, it evolves into one of the most loyal companions. And that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Ralts. Like, share, come back tomorrow for Kirlia's graceful spotlight for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddles why again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're spotlighting the graceful, psychic and fairy type Pokemon Kirlia. Kirlia, the emotion Pokemon, is a dual type psychic fairy Pokemon introduced in Generation 3, known for its elegant appearance and psychic powers. Kirlia is highly sensitive to the emotions of its trainer and environment. If it's treated with love, it blossoms beautifully. Kirlia evolves from Ralts at level 20 and has two evolution paths, into Gardevoir at level 30 or into Galad when exposed to Dawnstone, but only if it's male. These two evolutions lead to very different battle styles. Kirlia's ability is Synchronize, which passes on status conditions like poison or paralysis to the foe. Fun fact, in the anime, Kirlia is shown using its psychic powers to sense the future and teleport people. No wonder it's so magical. And that is a wrap on today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Kirlia. If you could evolve Kirlia into Gardevoir or Galad, which would you choose? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for tomorrow's Pokédex in a Minute episode. Hello guys, Paddles why again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's pick is one of the most graceful and secretly terrifying psychic types, Gardevoir. Gardevoir, the embraced Pokemon, is a dual type psychic fairy introduced in Generation 3. Known for its elegant, almost dressed-like form, it's a final evolution of Ralts and one of the most beloved Pokemon in the franchise. Gardevoir evolves from Kirlia at level 13, but here's the twist: if you use a Dawnstone on a male Kirlia, it becomes Galad instead. So Kirlia's final form depends on both gender and evolution method. Gardevoir's abilities include Synchronize and Trace, and it can even have Telepathy as a hidden ability. And here's the wildest part: in the Pokédex it said Gardevoir will bend the laws of physics and create a black hole to protect its trainer, literal space warping bodyguard. And that is it for Gardevoir: elegant, powerful, protective. Want more Pokédex deep dives? Like, follow, comment who's your favorite psychic type, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute and Daily Pokemon Short Series. Today's pick is part bug, part mystery. Meet Surskit, the skating spider. Surskit, the pond skater Pokemon, is a dual-type backwater Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. It's based on real-life water striders, insects that glide across water surfaces using surface tension. In battle, it skates circles around the competition. Surskit evolves into Masquerain at level 22, and that's where things get weird. When it evolves, it loses its water typing and becomes back flying instead, a rare case of a Pokemon dropping a whole type as it grows. Surskit's abilities include Swift Swim, boosting speed in the rain, and the hidden ability Rain Dish, which heals it during rain. Fun fact, it secretes a sweet syrup from its head that other Pokemon like to eat. Kinda gross, kinda adorable. So, backwater syrup speed. That's Surskit. Like and follow to catch tomorrow's feature, the Winged Wonder it evolves to, Masquerain. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute and Daily Pokemon Short Series. Today we are covering the elegant yet deceptive Masquerain. Masquerain is a back-flying type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. Known as the eyeball Pokemon, it's famous for the intimidating eye-like patterns on its antenna, which resemble large eyes to ward off predators. Masquerain evolves from Surskit, starting at level 22. Surskit is a water bug, but when it evolves it loses the water type and becomes flying instead. Masquerain can have the ability Intimidate, which lowers the opposing Pokemon's attack stat when it enters battle, fitting for something with a fake face. Despite being small, it has access to powerful moves like Quiver Dance, Air Slash and Back Pass. Did you know Masquerain's wings let it hover and even stop midair, unlike many other bug types? So that's Masquerain in a nutshell and in the Pokédex in a Minute videos. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe and flutter by tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the Daily Pokemon Short Series. Today we're heading into the Hoenn region with the Grumpy little mushroom Pokemon Shroomish. Shroomish, the mushroom Pokemon, is a pure grass type first introduced in Generation 3. You'll often find it in damp forests like Petalburg Woods, where it feeds on composted soil. Don't let its cute look fool you though, because Shroomish can pack a punch. At level 23, Shroomish evolves into Breloom, a powerful grass-fighting type Pokemon. Breloom is known for its high attack and the ability to learn Spore, the most accurate sleep-inducing move. Shroomish can also have the ability Effect Spore, which may paralyze, poison or put opponents to sleep when they make contact. Fun fact, Shroomish has a hidden ability called Quick Feet, which boosts its speed when it is affected by a status condition. Did you know in the anime, Ash's Corfish got into a fight with a group of Shroomish who were upset about their forest being destroyed? They may be small, but they are sure feisty. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, the Daily Pokemon Short Series. Who's your favorite mushroom-themed Pokemon? Shroomish, Fungus or Toadstool? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for tomorrow's Pokédex in a Minute. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute and Daily Pokemon Short Series. Today we are spotlighting the brawling, bouncing mushrooms Breloom. Breloom is a grass-fighting type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. It evolves from Shroomish, starting at level 23. With its mushroom-like body and stretchy arms, Breloom delivers high-speed punches like a boxer in the forest. So, Breloom evolves from the unassuming Shroomish, a spore-filled Pokemon. Once it evolves, Breloom trades spores for serious speed and fighting type power. Breloom can have either Effect Spore or Poison Heal. The latter makes it heal every turn if it's poison, making it a competitive favorite. Fun fact, Breloom has the highest base attack of any grass-type Pokemon in Gen 3, and its signature move, Spore, learned only as a Shroomish, it is 100% accurate sleep move. So that is it for Breloom and today's Pokédex in a Minute video. Let me know in the comments who's your favorite fighting / grass-type Pokemon. Why don't you have more Pokemon like this on your team? Like, subscribe and come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are talking about a Pokemon who truly lives life in the slow lane. It's of course Slakoth. Slakoth, the Slacker Pokemon, is a normal type introduced in Generation 3. Found in the Hoenn region, Slakoth spends most of its time lying still, moving only once every few hours. Sounds like a mood, right? So, Slakoth at level 18 evolves into Vigoroth, an energetic and hyperactive Pokemon. That's a complete opposite, but then it chills out again when it evolves into Slaking at level 36, gaining massive power, but that laziness returns. Slakoth's ability is Truant, which only lets it attack every other turn. While that might seem like a drawback, it evolves into one of the strongest non-legendary Pokemon, Slaking, whose stats rival legendaries. Fun fact, despite its slow pace, Slakoth's heartbeat only happens once per minute. So that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Do you think Slaking is worth training despite the Truant ability? Let us know in the comments and come back tomorrow for our next Pokédex Spotlight. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're charging into the Pokédex with the ever-energetic Vigoroth. Vigoroth, the wild monkey Pokemon, is a pure normal type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its hyperactive energy, Vigoroth never sits still. It literally gets sick if it tries to rest. With its sharp claws and wild eyes, it's the embodiment of restless power. Vigoroth evolves from Slakoth at level 18 and later evolves into Slaking at level 36. Interestingly, while Slakoth and Slaking both have the Truant ability, which makes them loaf around, Vigoroth doesn't. It's the only stage in the line that can attack every turn. Vigoroth has the ability Vital Spirit, which prevents it from falling asleep, fitting for a Pokemon that never stops moving. Fun fact, its Pokédex entries say it has a heartbeat 10 times faster than a human's. That's some serious adrenaline right there. And that is it for Vigoroth and today's Pokédex in a Minute video. Which hyperactive Pokemon do you think could keep up with Vigoroth? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe and comment for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's feature is one of the laziest and strongest Pokemon in the entire Pokédex, Slaking. Slaking, the lazy Pokemon, is a normal type powerhouse from Generation 3. Don't let its lazy demeanor fool you. It has one of the highest base stats of any non-legendary Pokemon, often found lying down and barely moving. Slaking is notorious for conserving energy until it's time to strike. Slaking evolves from Vigoroth starting at level 36, which in turn evolves from Slakoth at level 18. Funny enough, Vigoroth is hyperactive while Slaking goes right back to chilling. Slaking has the ability Truant, which forces it to only attack every other turn, a major drawback for such a strong Pokemon, but when it does attack, its raw power is overwhelming. In fact, Slaking has a base stat total of 670, the same as many legendary Pokemon like Kyogre and Groudon. Fun fact, in battle strategy, some trainers use Slaking with moves like Skill Swap or Giga Impact to get around Truant and unleash its full potential. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Slaking. Like, follow and come back tomorrow as we dig into the next entry in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's spotlight is on Pokédex number 290, Nincada the Subterranean Ninja Bug. Nincada is a bug ground type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. This pale insectoid Pokemon lives underground, using its claws to dig tunnels. With antenna that sends vibrations, it avoids light and thrives in darkness. At level 20, Nincada evolves into Ninjask, a lightning fast ninja Pokemon, but here's a twist: if you have an extra Pokeball in an open party slot, you'll also get Ninja and Ghosty Shell left behind during evolution. Nincada has Compound Eyes, which boost accuracy, great for moves like Mud Slap or Fury Swipes. It's also one of the few Pokemon with both ground and bug typing, making it resistant to electric and immune to Thunder Wave. Fun fact, Nincada is the only Pokemon whose evolution can create a second Pokemon without breeding or catching, Ninja just appears like a ghost. So that's our daily dose of Pokemon. Like, follow and come back tomorrow for tomorrow's Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're featuring the blindingly fast ninja Pokemon, Ninjask. Ninjask is a back flying type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. It evolves from Nincada and is known as the Ninja Pokémon. It's famous for its incredible speed stat, so fast in fact that it's said to become invisible when it moves. Ninjask evolves from Nincada at level 20, but here's the cool part. If you have an extra Pokéball and an empty slot in your party, you also get Ninja at the same time. It's one of the few ways to get 2 evolutions from one Pokémon. Ninjask's ability is Speed Boost, which raises its speed every turn, making it one of the fastest Pokémon in battle. Trainers often use it to pass stat boosts to other Pokémon with Baton Pass. Fun fact, Ninjask is inspired by cicadas and ninja folklore, with its passing wings said to drive people mad. And that's your Ninja Speed dive into Ninjask. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit the like button, subscribe, and catch us tomorrow for the next Pokémon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokémon short series. Today we are looking at one of the most unusual Pokémon ever, Shedinja. Shedinja is a bug ghost type Pokémon introduced in Generation 3, but here's the twist, it doesn't evolve from Nincada like a normal evolution, instead you get it for free when Nincada evolves into Ninjask, but only if you have an extra Pokéball and an open slot in your party. When Nincada evolves at level 20, if the conditions are right, Shedinja appears as a shell, left behind, literally. It's a husk that gained life, making it one of the creepiest evolution mechanics in the series. Shedinja's ability, Wonder Guard, makes it immune to all damage, unless the move is super effective. One hit and it's gone, since it only has 1 HP. Fun fact, it doesn't even animate in battle, it just floats there with its blank stare. Spooky. Pokédex lore says if you look into the hole in its back, it steals your soul, so maybe battle it from the front. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokémon short series. Which Pokémon should we cover next? I'm doing the Pokédex by a series. Stay tuned for the next Pokémon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokémon short series. Today's spotlight is on a surprisingly loud little Pokémon, Whismur. Whismur, the Whisper Pokémon, is a normal type introduced in Generation 3. It may look shy, but don't be fooled. When Whismur starts crying, it can shake the ground with its voice. Normally it makes barely a sound, but once startled, its cries can be heard from over half a mile away. Whismur evolves into Loudred at level 20 and then into Exploud at level 40. Each evolution turns up the volume, literally, from whispers to roars. Whismur's ability, Soundproof, blocks all sound-based moves, a neat twist for a Pokémon all about noise. Fun fact in the anime, Whismur's crying once caused chaos during a musical performance. Talk about the sound check gone wrong. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Whismur. Like and follow for more Pokéfacts and stay tuned for tomorrow's episode because we're turning up the volume with Loudred. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokémon short series. Today we're turning up the volume with loud noise Pokémon Loudred. Loudred is a normal type Pokémon introduced in Generation 3. It's known for its massive mouth and speaker-like ears, which it uses to unleash earth-shaking sound waves. Loudred can shout so loud it causes shockwaves that can shatter windows and shake buildings. Loudred evolves from Whismur at level 20 and becomes Exploud at level 40. With each evolution, its voice gets even more powerful and more destructive. It usually has the ability Soundproof, making it immune to all sound-based moves, perfect for a Pokémon that lives by loudness. Fun fact, Loudred's voice is so powerful it uses its entire body like a subwoofer to amplify the sound. Talk about bass boost. And that's it for today's Pokémon Daily, the Pokédex Daily series. Want to hear more? Hit like, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode featuring Exploud. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokémon short series. Today we're turning up the volume with the loud noise Pokémon Exploud. Exploud is a normal type Pokémon from Generation 3, introduced in the Hoenn region. With sound pipes all over its body, this Pokémon can unleash powerful sound-based attacks, perfect for disrupting enemies and shattering barriers. Exploud is the final evolution of Whismur. It evolves from Loudred at level 40, from a quiet little Whismur to a booming beast. Exploud is all about escalation. Exploud's main ability is Soundproof, which makes it immune to sound-based moves like Hyper Voice or Uproar. Yes, even its own kind. Fun fact, in Pokémon Mystery Dungeon, Exploud often acts as the loud rule-enforcing leader. Fitting, right? So that's a wrap for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokémon short series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back tomorrow as we dive into another awesome Pokémon. Hello guys, Patrick again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we featured Pokemon is undetermined fighting type Makuhita. Makuhita, the Guts Pokemon, is a pure fighting type introduced in Generation 3. It's known for its tough spirit and training style. It builds its power by getting knocked down and standing back up again. Makuhita evolves into Hariyama starting at level 24. When it evolves, it becomes much larger, resembling a sumo wrestler ready to push opponents out of the ring. Makuhita can have the ability Thick Fat, which halves damage from fire and ice type moves, or Guts, which boosts its attack if it's affected by a status condition. Fun fact, Makuhita's Pokédex entry in Ruby says it does 500 practice laps a day to build strength. So that is an interesting fact. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Like and subscribe to see tomorrow's feature, Hariyama. Hello guys, Patrick again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're talking about the powerful arm thrust Pokemon Hariyama. Hariyama is a pure fighting type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. It evolves from Makuhita at level 24. Hariyama is known for its massive size and sumo wrestler design, with huge hands used to push opponents away with incredible force. Hariyama is Makuhita's evolved form and does not evolve further. However, its stats increase dramatically, making it a tanky, hard-hitting fighting type on any team. It can have the ability Thick Fat, reducing fire and ice damage, or Guts, boosting attack when affected by status. Fun fact, Hariyama can stop a moving train with a single arm push, according to its Sapphire Pokédex entry. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Hariyama. Like and subscribe for tomorrow's next feature, the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Patrick again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's featured Pokemon is a tiny and adorable Azurill. Azurill, the polka dot Pokemon, is a normal fairy type introduced in Generation 3. It's known for its huge blue tail, which is bouncy and acts like a flotation device when it plays near water. Azurill evolves into Marill when it has high friendship, then Marill evolves into Azumarill, starting at level 18, becoming a strong water fairy type for your team. Azurill can have the abilities Thick Fat, which reduces fire and ice damage, or Huge Power, which doubles its attack stat. Fun fact, despite being a normal fairy type, Azurill's evolved forms are water fairy types, making it one of the few Pokemon whose type changes upon evolution. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute entry and Azurill. Hit the like button, subscribe, and see you tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Patrick again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are talking about the magnetic rock type Nosepass. Nosepass, the compass Pokemon, is a pure rock type introduced in Generation 3. It's instantly recognizable by its giant red nose and always faces north, thanks to the magnetic forces in his body. Nosepass evolves into Probopass when leveled up near a special magnetic field, like mountain coronet or electric terrain areas in later games. Probopass gains a steel type and a very distinct mustache. Nosepass has the ability Sturdy, preventing one-hit KOs, or Magnet Pull, which traps steel types. Fun fact, Nosepass can turn to face its trainer because its nose always points due north. That's all for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Nosepass. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokemon Probopass. Hello guys, Patrick again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's star is a irresistibly cute normal type Skitty. Skitty, the kitten Pokemon, is a pure normal type introduced in Generation 3. It's known for chasing its own tail and pairing when it's happy. Don't let the cuteness fool you though, it's got some tricks up its sleeve. Skitty evolves into Delcatty when exposed to a Moonstone. Unlike level-based evolution, this means you can evolve it at any time. Just keep in mind it may miss out on learning some moves. Abilities and fun fact, Skitty's abilities include Cute Charm, which may infatuate foes on contact, or Normalize, turning all its moves into normal type. Fun fact, in the anime, May had a Skitty that loved using Assist, calling random moves from her whole team. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute and Skitty. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's episode featuring Delcatty. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we are spotlighting the graceful and laid-back Delcatty. Delcatty, the prime Pokemon, is a normal type from Generation 3. Known for its elegant appearance and carefree nature, Delcatty avoids conflict and prefers to rest wherever it pleases, living life in its own terms. Delcatty evolves from Skitty when exposed to a Moonstone. Once it evolves, it stops learning moves by level up, so plan your evolution carefully if you are in a battle mode. Delcatty can have Cute Charm or Normalize, turning all its moves into normal type. Fun fact, in the anime, May Skitty evolved into Delcatty and continued using the move Assist to surprise opponents with random attacks. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Delcatty. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's featured Pokemon. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute and daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon lurks in the dark. It's the eerie and mischievous Sableye. Sableye, the Darkness Pokemon, is a dual Ghost Dark type introduced in Generation 3. With gem-like eyes and a creeping green, it lives in caves and feeds on minerals, literally chewing on rocks. Sableye has no standard evolution, but in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it gained a Mega Evolution, Mega Sableye, which hides behind a massive gem as a shield. Sableye's abilities include Keen Eye and Stall, but its hidden ability Prankster is the real standout, giving priority to status moves. Fun fact, in Generations 3 through 5, Sableye has no weaknesses thanks to its unique typing. So, this is Sableye and today's Pokédex in a Minute episode. Did you like the video? Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for tomorrow as we uncover the next mysterious Pokemon. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon may look sweet, but it has a terrifying secret. Let's meet Mavile. Mavile, the Deceiver Pokemon, is a dual Steel Fairy type as of Generation 6. Originally introduced in Generation 3 as a pure Steel type, Mavile uses its huge horn-like jaws to distract and chop unsuspecting foes. Mavile doesn't evolve through levels, but it does has a Mega Evolution. Mega Mavile gains massive power and a second jaw, making it a competitive powerhouse in the X and Y era. Mavile's abilities include Hyper Cutter and Intimidate, but its Mega form has huge power, doubling its attack stat. Fun fact, its Pokédex entries say it lures prey with a cute face, then bites when their guard is down. So that's it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, and Mavile, like and subscribe to catch tomorrow's next awesome Pokemon. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's armored tank is small but seriously tough. Meet Aron. Aron, the Iron Armor Pokemon, is a dual Steel Rock type introduced in Generation 3. Covered in metal plating, it's known for its durability and even needs iron ore to repair its body. Aron evolves into Lairon at level 32, then into Aggron at level 42. Each evolution gets bulkier and more powerful, with Aggron turning into a true defensive monster. Aron can have Sturdy, preventing one-hit KOs, or Rock Head to ignore recoil damage. Fun fact, in the Pokédex, Aron is said to restore bridges by eating the metal beams. Talk about infrastructure support. So, this is everything about Aron in a minute. I hope you like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow for the next episode with Lairon. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is an armored powerhouse in the making, Lairon. Lairon, the Iron Armor Pokemon, is a dual Steel Rock type from Generation 3. It spends its days eating rocks and iron ore, and it fiercely defends its territory from anything that dares approach. Lairon evolves into Aron at level 32 and becomes Aggron at level 42. Gaining massive defensive power and one of the most intimidating designs in the Pokédex. Lairon can have Sturdy, which prevents one-hit KOs, or Rock Head to avoid recoil damage. Fun fact, its armor is so strong that Pokemon battles often leave dents in the ground, but not Lairon. And that is it for today's Pokemon, Lairon. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Titan Aggron. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is an armored Juggernaut, of course, it is Aggron. Aggron, the Iron Armor Pokemon, is a dual Steel Rock type from Generation 3. Towering over its foes, Aggron is famous for defending its mountain home with unstoppable strength and unbreakable armor. Aggron evolves from Lairon at level 42. It doesn't evolve further, but in X and Y it gained a Mega Evolution that turns it into a pure Steel type with a huge boost in defense. Aggron can have Sturdy or Rock Head, and its Mega form gains the ability Filter, reducing super effective damage. Fun fact, Aggron can completely restore Damage Mountain after a battle, making it both a fierce warrior and a nature caretaker. So that is it for today's Pokemon, Aggron, and like, subscribe, and meet tomorrow's featured Pokemon. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's fighting Yogi is a focused and flexible Meditite. Meditite, the Meditate Pokemon, is a dual fighting Psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It spends hours each day deep in meditation, sharpening both its mind and body. Meditite evolves into Medicham starting at level 37. With this evolution it gains incredible balance between mental focus and raw physical power. Meditite's ability is Pure Power, which doubles its attack stat, making even its small strikes devastating. Fun fact, according to the Pokédex, Meditite can survive for a month on just water while training in meditation. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Meditite. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's feature, Medicham. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon combines discipline and strength. It's Medicham. Medicham, the Meditate Pokemon, is a dual fighting Psychic type from Generation 3. It's known for its graceful fighting style, blending yoga-like movements with powerful strikes. Medicham evolves from Meditite starting at level 37. While it doesn't have a standard evolution after that, it can get Mega evolved into Mega Medicham in X and Y, gaining extra arms of psychic energy and explosive power. Medicham has the ability Pure Power, which doubles its attack stat, making it deceptively strong. Fun fact, in the Pokédex, Medicham is said to sharpen its sixth sense through meditation, letting it anticipate and dodge enemy attacks. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Medicham. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see tomorrow's featured Pokemon. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is charged up and ready to run. It's Electrike. Electrike, the lightning Pokemon, is an electric type introduced in Generation 3. It generates electricity by storing friction in its fur, and then releases it as sparks while running at high speed. Electrike evolves into Manectric starting at level 26. Later in Pokemon X and Y, Manectric gained a Mega Evolution that makes it even faster and more electrifying. Electrike can have Static, which may paralyze opponents on contact, or Lightning Rod, which draws in electric moves on to boost its special attack. Fun fact, its Pokédex entry in Emerald says Electrike runs faster when its body is fully charged with electricity. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Electrike. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's feature, Manectric. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a Storm on 4 legs, Manectric. Manectric, the Discharge Pokemon, is a pure electric type from Generation 3. It stores energy in its mane, releasing it in bursts of lightning when it battles. Its electrified fur can glow bright enough to light up the battlefield. Manectric evolves from Electrike at level 26. It also gained a Mega Evolution in Pokemon X and Y, Mega Manectric, where its fur becomes spiky and lightning-like, making it faster and more intimidating than ever. Manectric can have Static as an ability or Lightning Rod, just like Electrike, but Mega Manectric gains Intimidate, lowering opportunities. Attacks when it enters battle. Fun fact, its Sapphire Pokédex entry says lightning storms sometimes follow Manectric wherever it goes. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Manectric. Like and subscribe to catch tomorrow's featured Pokemon. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is small but full of positive energy, is Plusle. Plusle, the cheering Pokemon, is an electric type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its positive plus tail, it cheers on its allies in battle, boosting their morale and sparking energy all around. Plusle doesn't evolve from or into any other Pokemon. It's often paired with its twin Minun, which has a negative minus tail, creating a dynamic duo in double battles. Plusle can have the ability Plus, which boosts the power of moves when a partner Pokemon also has Plus or Minun. Fun fact, in contests and battles, Plusle and Minun are known to perform synchronized moves that excite crowds and teammates alike. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute and Plusle. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's featured Pokemon, Minun. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is the perfect partner to Plusle, it's Minun. Minun, the cheering Pokemon, is an electric type introduced in Generation 3. Recognized by its blue color and tail, Minun supports its allies in battle by creating sparks that energize its teammates. Just like Plusle, Minun doesn't evolve from or into any other Pokemon, but the two are often seen together, making it one of the most iconic duos in Hoenn. Minun's ability is Minus, which boosts its power when paired with an ally that has Plus or Minus, making it shine in double battles. Fun fact, in the anime, Minun and Plusle often cheered for trainers during contests, sparking up the crowd as much as the battlefield. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode, and Minun, like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokemon Spotlight. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon lights up the night, it's Volbeat. Volbeat, the Firefly Pokemon, is a bug type introduced in Generation 3. It uses its glowing tail to communicate with others and to create beautiful light patterns in the sky. Volbeat doesn't evolve, but it is considered a counterpart to Illumise. The two are often found together with Illumise, sorry did I say it wrong, guiding groups of Volbeat to draw glowing light signals. Volbeat can have abilities like Illuminate, boosting encounter rates, or Swarm, powering up bug-type moves. Fun fact, in battle, Volbeat is known for supporting moves like Tail Glow, one of the best special attack boosting moves in the game. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute and Volbeat. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's feature, Illumise. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Tonight's Pokemon is elegant, glowing, and a natural leader, it's Illumise. Illumise, the Firefly Pokemon, is a pure bug type introduced in Generation 3. It is known for its graceful flight and sweet aroma, which attracts swarms of Volbeat to create glowing light patterns in the sky. Illumise doesn't evolve, but is considered Volbeat's counterpart. Together they are often seen working in groups, Illumise directing and Volbeat lighting up the sky. Illumise can have abilities like Oblivious, preventing infatuation, or Tinted Lens, which powers up moves that would normally be not very effective. Fun fact, in the Pokédex, Illumise is said to inspire Volbeat to draw over 200 different light patterns in the sky. And that is all for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Illumise, like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokédex in a Minute. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is elegant, thorny, and full of fragrance. It's of course Roselia. Roselia, the thorn Pokemon, is a grass and poison type introduced in Generation 3. With a rose on each hand, Roselia uses its beauty to distract opponents while releasing sharp, toxic thorns in battle. Roselia evolves from Bundew when it reaches a high friendship during the day, and then it can evolve again into Roserade when exposed to a shiny stone. Roselia can have Natural Cure, which heals its status conditions when switched out, or Poison Point, which may poison opponents on contact. Fun fact, according to the Pokédex, Roselia's aroma changes depending on the soil where it grows. Sweet, smelling if healthy, but bitter if it's unhealthy. So, this is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Roselia. Don't forget to like, subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokédex in a Minute episode. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is one big stomach, is of course Galpin. Galpin, the stomach Pokemon, is a pure poison type introduced in Generation 3. Its body is mostly a stomach and it can swallow objects as big as itself in one bite. Galpin evolves into Swalot as starting at level 26, where it grows bigger and tougher while keeping its huge appetite. Galpin can have Liquid Ooze, which damages opponents that try to absorb each HP, or Sticky Hold, which prevents its health item from being stolen. Fun fact, according to the Pokédex, the stomach acid inside Galpin is so strong it can digest anything, from scrap metal to whole tires. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Galpin. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on its evolution, Swalot. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is big, slimy and always hungry. It's of course Swalot. Swalot, the poison back Pokemon, is a pure poison type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its huge stretchy mouth, Swalot can swallow anything whole, no matter the size. Swalot evolves from Galpin, starting at level 26, while Galpin is small and bouncy, Swalot is much larger, with powerful defenses and a big appetite to match. Swalot can have abilities like Liquid Ooze, which punishes opponents for trying to drain its HP, or Sticky Hole, which protects its health item. Fun fact, the Pokédex says Swalot sprays a highly toxic fluid from its pores and it can gulp down things whole without even chewing. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Swalot. Don't forget to like, subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokemon Spotlight, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is sharp, fierce and feared in reverse, it's Carvanha. Carvanha, the savage Pokemon, is a dual type water and dark Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. Known for its razor sharp fangs, it often attacks in schools, shredding anything that dares enter its territory. Carvanha evolves into Sharpedo, starting at level 30, transforming from a small but ferocious piranha into a full-on torpedo shark. Carvanha can have the ability Rough Skin, which damages opponents that make contact. Fun fact, the Pokédex says Carvanha can even chew through the hull of a boat, so you definitely don't want to fall into a school of them. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Carvanha. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on its powerful evolution, Sharpedo. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is the Torpedo of the Seas, is of course Sharpedo. Sharpedo, the brutal Pokemon, is a water and dark type from Generation 3. Known as the Bully of the Sea, it can swim at speeds of up to 75 miles per hour, smashing through ships and chasing prey with ease. Sharpedo evolves from Carvanha, starting at level 30, and Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire gain the Mega Evolution, Mega Sharpedo, covered in spikes and even faster, resembling a living missile. Sharpedo's abilities include Rough Skin, damaging attackers on contact, and Speed Boost in later generations, making it faster each turn. Fun fact, according to the Pokédex, Sharpedo is so feared that fishermen once avoided entire waters where a single Sharpedo was spotted. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Sharpedo. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokemon Spotlight, Wailmer. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is round, cheerful and full of waters. It's of course Wailmer. Wailmer, the ball whale Pokemon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its round body and gentle smile, it can spray seawater from its nostrils high into the air, sometimes just for fun. Wailmer evolves into the massive Wailord starting at level 40. It's one of the biggest size jumps in all of Pokemon evolution. Wailmer can have Water Vial, which prevents burns, or Oblivious, which protects it from infatuation. Fun fact, in the Pokédex, Wailmer is said to enjoy playing by splashing water and bouncing like a ball, even on land. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Wailmer. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on its giant evolution, Wailord. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is absolutely massive, the largest of them all. It's Wailord. Wailord, the float whale Pokemon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. Measuring over 47 feet long, it's one of the biggest Pokemon ever discovered. Despite its size, it flows gracefully across the ocean's surface. Wailord evolves from Wailmer starting at level 40, marking one of the most dramatic size increases in all of Pokemon evolution. Wailord can have Water Vial, preventing burns, or Oblivious, protecting it from infatuation. Fun fact, the Pokédex says entire pods of Wailord can create massive waves just by breaching the surface, sometimes capsizing small boats in the process. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Wailord. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokemon Spotlight, and we'll see you again tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is slow, sleepy, but full of magma. It's Numel. Numel, the Numb Pokemon, is a dual fire and ground type introduced in Generation 3. It stores boiling magma inside its hump, which it uses to fuel fire attacks, but is known to be a little clumsy and sluggish. Numel evolves into Camerupt starting at level 33, where its body transforms into a volcanic powerhouse capable of massive eruptions. Numel can have the abilities Oblivious, preventing it from being infatuated, or Simple, which doubles the effects of the stat changes. Fun fact, the Pokédex says Numel doesn't even notice when it's hit because it can't feel pain very well. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute episode and Numel. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight, its explosive evolution Camerupt. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a living volcano. It's Camerupt. Camerupt, the eruption Pokemon, is a fire and ground type from Generation 3. It carries volcanoes on its back, which erupt every 10 years, or whenever Camerupt gets angry. Camerupt evolves from Numel starting at level 33. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it can also Mega evolve into Mega Camerupt, where its volcanoes grow even larger, overflowing with explosive energy. Camerupt can have magma armor preventing freezing all solid rock, which reduces damage from super effective moves. Fun fact, its Ruby Pokédex entry says the magma inside Camerupt is around 18,000 Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt anything in seconds. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute episode and Camerupt. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight, Treecko. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is tough, smoky, and burns with determination. It's of course Treecko. Treecko, the cold Pokemon, is a pure fire type introduced in Generation 3. It burns coal inside its shell to generate energy, releasing black smoke from its nostrils and shell vents when it battles. Treecko doesn't evolve, but its high defense and access to sun-based strategies have made it a popular pick in competitive battles. Treecko usually has white smoke preventing its stats from being lowered, or shell armor blocking critical hits. Fun fact, in later generations, Treecko gained the ability Draft, which summons harsh sunlight, making it the backbone of many sun teams. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute episode and Treecko. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's episode on Spoink. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is always bouncing. It's of course Spoink. Spoink, the bounce Pokemon, is a pure psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It uses the pearl on its head to amplify its psychic powers while bouncing constantly to keep its heart beating. Spoink evolves into Grumpig starting at level 32, where it grows larger and gains even stronger psychic abilities. Spoink can have thick fat, reducing damage from fire and ice moves, or own tempo, which prevents confusion. Fun fact, the Pokédex says Spoink can't stop bouncing. If it ever did, its heart would stop beating. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Spoink. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is tricky, flashy, and full of psychic power. Is Grumpig. Grumpig, the manipulate Pokemon, is a pure psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It uses the black pearls on its body to control opponents with powerful waves of psychic energy. Grumpig evolves from Spoink starting at level 32, trading its bouncy lifestyle from dancing movements that amplify its psychic abilities. Grumpig can have thick fat, reducing fire and ice damage, or own tempo, which prevents confusion. Fun fact, in the Pokédex, Grumpig is described as using its pearls to cast hypnotic dances, sometimes leaving its opponents completely entranced. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Grumpig. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight Pokemon for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is dizzy, wobbly, and totally unique. It's of course Spinda. Spinda, the spot panda Pokemon, is a normal type from Generation 3. It's known for its dizzy dancing movements and spotted fur pattern, which is different for every single Spinda. Spinda doesn't evolve, but its uniqueness comes from its patterns. There are over 4 billion possible spot variations, meaning no two Spinda look exactly alike. Spinda can have the ability Own Tempo, which prevents confusion, or Tangled Feet, which boosts its evasion while it's confused. Fun fact, in the game, Spinda spots are randomly generated, so the one you catch will almost always be one of a kind. And that is it for today's Pokédex animated video and Spinda. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here, welcome back to another Pokédex animated video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is small but packs and big bite, it's Trapinch. Trapinch, the ant-pit Pokemon, is a pure ground type introduced in Generation 3. It digs conical pits in the desert sands and waits at the bottom, snapping its massive jaws shut on anything that falls in. Trapinch evolves into Vibrava starting at level 35, shedding its heavy body for wings and beginning its transformation into the mighty Flygon. Trapinch can have Hyper Cutter, preventing its attack from being lowered, or Arena Trap, which prevents foes from escaping. Fun fact, despite its small size, Trapinch bite is said to be stronger than steel. Its jaws can crush boulders with ease. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Trapinch. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight. Bye brava! Hello guys, Paddles Y again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we have a buzzing desert dragon, it's Vibrava. Vibrava, the vibration Pokemon, is a dual ground and dragon type introduced in Generation 3. It vibrates its wings at high speeds to generate ultrasonic waves strong enough to shatter rocks. Vibrava evolves from Trapinch starting at level 35 and then evolves again into Flygon at level 45. It's the middle stage of one of Hoenn's most iconic dragon lines. Vibrava can have the ability Levitate, giving it complete immunity to ground type moves. Fun fact, Vibrava's wings are too underdeveloped for real flight. It actually glides and beats its wings mainly to attack with sound waves. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Vibrava. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight, the desert spirit Pokemon Flygon. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here, back with another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is the Desert's Guardian Spirit, is of course Flygon. Flygon, the Desert Spirit Pokemon, is a dual ground and dragon type introduced in Generation 3. When it flaps its wings, it whips up swirling sandstorms that hide its presence, earning it the nickname the Spirit of the Desert. Flygon evolves from Vibrava at level 45, completing its journey from the tiny Trapinch into a graceful dragon that soars above the desert skies. Flygon has the ability Levitate, making it immune to ground type moves. Fun fact, in the anime and Pokédex, Flygon's weak beats produce a melodic hum, said to soothe travelers lost in the desert. It's one of Hoenn's most adored dragon Pokemon. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Flygon. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight. Cagnia. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here, back with another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon may look cute but don't get too close, it's Cagnia. Cagnia, the cactus Pokemon, is a pure grass type introduced in Generation 3. It lives in arid deserts and it uses its tough body and sharp spines to survive in harsh environments where few other plants can grow. Cagnia evolves into Cacturne starting at level 32, transforming from a plum cactus into a nocturnal desert stalker. Cagnia's ability is Sandvile, which boosts its evasion in sandstorms. Fun fact, the Pokédex says Cagnia absorbs water through its body and fires its needles like bullets when threatened. Pretty prickly for something so cute. And this is all for today's Pokemon and Pokédex in a minute. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight, Cacturne. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's video lurks in the desert shadows waiting for nightfall, it's Cacturne. Cacturne, the scarecrow Pokemon, is a dual grass and dark type introduced in Generation 3. It spends the day standing completely still to conserve water, then comes alive at night to stalk travelers lost in the desert. Cacturne evolves from Cagnia starting at level 32. growing taller, spikier, and gaining its even dark typing as it becomes a true predator of the sands. Cacturn can have Sand Vial, which boosts evasion in sandstorms, or Water Absorb, letting it recover HP when hit by water moves. Fun fact, the Pokédex says that once night falls, entire groups of Cacturn follow weary travelers until the morning sun rises again. Pretty spooky. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Cacturn. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight. Swablu! Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is as light as a cloud and just as fluffy. It's Swablu. Swablu, the cotton bird Pokemon, is a normal and flying type introduced in Generation 3. With its cotton-like wings, it loves to perch on people's heads, mistaking them for comfy nests. Swablu evolves into Altaria starting at level 35, where it becomes a beautiful dragon and flying type with cloud-like wings that shimmer in the sunlight. Swablu can have Natural Cure, healing its status condition when it's switched out, or Cloud 9, which negates weather effects. Fun fact, Swablu loves to clean dirty things. It's known to wipe dust off with its wings and hum happily while doing it. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Swablu. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's episode of Spotlight Altaria. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute and daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon Science from the clouds is the beautiful and melodic Altaria. Altaria, the humming Pokemon, is a dual dragon and flying type introduced in Generation 3. Its cottony wings make it look like a floating cloud and it hums sweet melodies that can calm even the most hardened hearts. Altaria evolves from Swablu starting at level 35, and in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire it can Mega Evolve into Mega Altaria, gaining a fairy typing and becoming a majestic, fluff-covered dragon. Altaria's ability is Natural Cure, which heals its status effects when it switches out. Fun fact, in its Mega form, Altaria's singing voice grows even more beautiful. Its songs are said to bring peace to anyone who hears them. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Altaria. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Spotlight Zangoose. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon has claws sharp as blades and a rivalry that's lasted generations, is Zangoose. Zangoose, the cat favorite Pokemon, is a pure normal type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its speed and slashing claws, it's famous for its never-ending feud with Seviper, its snake-like rival. Zangoose doesn't evolve, but it makes up for it with incredible physical power and agility. Its fighting stance and claw marks are all symbols of its battles against Seviper. Zangoose can have the ability Immunity, which prevents it from being poisoned, a perfect trait for its long fight against the venomous Seviper. Fun fact, in the wild, Zangoose and Seviper will attack each other on sight. Their rivalry is one of the most iconic in all of Pokemon. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Zangoose. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight, its deadly rival Seviper. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is venomous, vengeful and locked in a fierce rivalry. It's Seviper. Seviper, the fang snake Pokemon, is a pure poison type introduced in Generation 3. It uses its long muscular body and razor-sharp tail to strike its enemies, especially its lifelong rival Zangoose. Seviper doesn't evolve, but its design and personality perfectly mirror Zangoose. While Zangoose represents quick, clean strikes, Seviper relies on cunning and venom to win. Seviper has the ability Shed Skin, giving it a chance to heal from status conditions. Fun fact, in the anime, Zangoose and Seviper's battles are so fierce that they often destroy their surroundings. This rivalry has lasted for centuries. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Seviper. Like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Spotlight Lunatone. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon drifts silently through the night sky, it's Lunatone. Lunatone, the meteorite Pokemon, is a dual rock and psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It's said to have come from space after a meteor crash and it draws power from the light of the moon. Lunatone doesn't evolve, but it shares a deep connection with Solrock, the sun to its moon, forming a perfect celestial duo representing balance and harmony. Lunatone's ability is Levitate, giving it immunity to ground-type moves. Fun fact, in the Pokemon world, people believe Lunatone's power waxes and wanes with the moon's phases, and its eyes glow brightest during a full moon. That is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Lunatone, like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight, Lunatone's solar counterpart, Solrock. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon bears with the power of the sun, it's Solrock. Solrock, the Meteorite Pokemon, is a dual rock and psychic type introduced in Generation 3. Like Lunatone, it's said to have fallen from space, but instead of drawing power from the moon, it shines with the energy of the blazing sun. Solrock doesn't evolve, but it's a perfect counterpart to Lunatone, representing the balance between light and dark, sun and moon. Solrock's ability is Levitate, making it immune to ground-type moves. Fun fact, Solrock's core burns like a miniature sun. It glows intensely when it's angry, and its eyes flash red with psychic power during battle. That is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Solrock, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is small, slimy and shockingly slippery. It's Barboach. Barboach, the Whiskers Pokemon, is a dual water and ground type introduced in Generation 3. It uses the whiskers on its face to sense movements in muddy water, helping it fight food even when it can't see. Barboach evolves into Whiscash starting at level 30, where it grows into a big blue catfish known for causing earthquakes underwater. Barboach can have the ability Oblivious, which prevents infatuation, or Anticipation, which warns it of dangerous moves. Fun fact, its body is covered in a slimy coating that makes it impossible to grab. Predators simply can't hold onto it. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video. And Barboach, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on its evolution, Whiscash. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon rules the muddy rivers of Hoenn, it's Whiscash. Whiscash, the Whiskers Pokemon, is a dual water and ground type introduced in Generation 3. It makes its home at the bottom of swamps and ponds, stirring up mud and sensing vibrations through its long whiskers. Whiscash evolves from Barboach, starting at level 30, growing larger and gaining enough power to shake the ground, literally. It's known for causing tremors when angered. Whiscash can have Oblivious or Anticipation just like Barboach. Fun fact, according to the Pokédex, Whiscash can sense earthquakes before they happen, and sometimes even cause them. Its whiskers act like early warning sensors for seismic activity. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Whiscash, like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight, Corphish. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, back with another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is tough, territorial and always ready to fight. It's of course Corphish. Corphish, the Ruffian Pokemon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. Originally an invasive species, Corphish spreads rapidly through Hoenn's rivers thanks to its incredible adaptability and fighting spirit. Corphish evolves into Crawdaunt starting at level 13, becoming even stronger and more aggressive, ruling the waterways as a true crustacean powerhouse. Corphish can have the ability Hyper Cutter, which prevents its attack from being lowered, or Shell Armor, which blocks critical hits. Fun fact, Corphish never backs down from a fight. If it loses its claw, it grows right back, stronger than before. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Corphish, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on its evolution, Crawdaunt. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is fierce, territorial and rules the rivers with an iron claw, it's Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt, the rock Pokemon, is a dual water and dark type introduced in Generation 3. It's known for its violent nature, attacking anything that dares enter its territory, even other Pokemon stronger than itself. Crawdaunt evolves from Corphish starting at level 30. Unlike its pre-evolution, Crawdaunt prefers solitude, driving away anyone who comes near its nest with those massive claws. Crawdaunt can have Hyper Cutter, Shell Armor, or its hidden ability Adaptability, which boosts the power of its water and dark type moves. Fun fact, Crawdaunt is so aggressive that few other Pokemon can live near it, making its territory eerily quiet. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Crawdaunt, wait and like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon spins through ancient ruins with a mysterious energy, it's Baltoy. Baltoy, the clay doll Pokemon, is a dual ground and psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It's said to be made of clay, brought to life by an ancient civilization's mysterious power. It spins its body to move almost like a living top. Baltoy evolves into Claydol starting at level 36, gaining multiple eyes and immense psychic energy. This evolution reflects its transformation from an ancient relic into a powerful guardian. Baltoy has the ability Levitate, giving it full immunity to ground-type moves. Fun fact, Baltoy evolves figures have actually been found in ruins across the Pokemon world, proof that people once worshipped it thousands of years ago. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Baltoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Spotlight Claydol. Hello guys, Patrick again here and welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon guards the ruins of an ancient world. It's Claydol. Claydol, the Claydol Pokemon, is a dual ground and psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It's said to be an ancient clay statue brought to life by a mysterious ray of light. Floating silently, it uses psychic power to move and fight. Claydol evolves from Baltoy starting at level 36, with multiple eyes that can look in every direction. It never lets its guards down. It's like a watchful guardian of forgotten civilizations. Claydol's ability is Levitate, protecting it from ground-type moves. Fun fact, in ancient lore it said that Claydol was created 20,000 years ago. It can fire powerful beams from its hands and eyes, and is known to spin rapidly when threatened. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Claydol, like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Spotlight on Lilip. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video and daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon comes from the depths of prehistory. It's Lilip. Lilip, the sea lily Pokemon, is a dual rock and grass type introduced in Generation 3. It's a fossil Pokemon revived from the root fossil, and it resembles an ancient shipland that anchored itself to the ocean floor millions of years ago. Lilip evolves into Cradily starting at level 40. When it evolves, it becomes larger and more mobile, turning from a passive filter feeder into a cunning ambush predator. Lilip has the ability Suction Cups, which prevents it from being forced out of battle. Fun fact, despite looking like a plant, Lilip is actually an animal. It uses its tentacle-like appendages to grab prey and pull them into its mouth. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Lilip. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Spotlight Cradily. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a living fossil that guards the ocean floor. It's Cradily. Cradily, the barnacle Pokemon, is a dual rock and grass type introduced in Generation 3. It's an evolved form of Lilip and it lives in the depths of the sea, anchored to rocks as it waits patiently to prey to drift by. Cradily evolves from Lilip starting at level 40. When threatened, it stretches its neck and lashes out with its tentacle-like arms, pulling its prey into its massive mouth. Cradily's ability is Suction Cups, which keeps it firmly attached to surfaces and prevents it from being forced out of battle. Fun fact, fossils of Cradily have been found in layers of ancient seabed rock, proof of its existence millions of years before humans. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Cradily. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Spotlight Anorith. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video and daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon crawled straight out of prehistory. It's Anorith. Anorith, the old shrimp Pokemon, is a dual rock and bug type introduced in Generation 3. Revived from the claw fossil, this ancient creature once lived in warm, shallow seas, using its many claws to swim and hunt. Anorith evolves into Armaldo starting at level 40, gaining a tougher shell and the ability to live on land. His evolution marks the transition from an ancient swimmer to a powerful amphibious predator. Anorith has the ability Battle Armor, which prevents critical hits. Fun fact, Anorith's body design is based on a real extinct sea creature called the Anomalocaris, one of the ocean's earliest apex predators. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video. And Anorith, like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Spotlight on Armaldo. Hello guys, Patrick again here, welcome back to Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is an armored predator from ancient times. It's Armaldo. Armaldo, the plate Pokemon, is a dual rock and bug type introduced in Generation 3. It's an evolved form of Anorith and one of the few ancient Pokemon that adapted from life in the sea to life on land. Armaldo evolves from Anorith starting at level 40. With its tough armor and powerful claws, it can smash through boulders and never even use those claws to slice enemies with precision. Armaldo's ability is Battle Armor, which protects it from critical hits. Fun fact, despite being rock and bug type, Armaldo is surprisingly a strong swimmer and it can return to the ocean and hunt underwater just like its ancient ancestors. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and remember, like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on Feebas. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon might not look like much, but don't judge a book by its cover. It's Feebas. Feebas, the fish Pokemon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. It's known for its ragged fins and scuffy appearance, often called one of the weakest and most overlooked Pokemon in Hoenn's rivers and lakes. But looks can be deceiving, because Feebas evolves into the elegant Milotic, one of the most beautiful Pokemon of all, when leveled up with high beauty or when traded holding a prism scale, depending on the game version. Feebas can have the ability Swift Swim or Oblivious. Fun fact, in the original Ruby and Sapphire games, Feebas could only be found in 6 random tiles of water on Route 119, making it one of the most hardest Pokemon to find in the entire series. And that is it for today's Pokédex video and Feebas. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on Milotic. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a definition of beauty and serenity. It's Milotic. Milotic, the tender Pokemon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. It evolves from the once mocked Feebas and is celebrated as one of the most beautiful Pokemon in existence. Its appearance is said to calm emotions and bring peace to those who see it. Milotic evolves from Feebas when it leveled up with high beauty in older games or when traded holding a sprint scale in newer ones. It's one of the most dramatic transformations in all Pokemon, proving that true beauty can come from within. Milotic can have the ability Marvel Scale, which boosts its defense when it has a status condition, or Competitive, which increases its special attack when its stats are lowered. Fun fact, in contests, Milotic is often seen as the ultimate symbol of elegance, both strong and stunning. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Milotic. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight.cast form. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon can change its entire form with the weather. It's Cast Form. Cast Form, the weather Pokemon, is a pure normal type introduced in Generation 3. It was created by the Weather Institute in Hoenn to study climate patterns, but what makes Cast Form truly special is its ability to transform depending on the weather. When the sun shines, Cast Form becomes Sunny Form, a bright fiery orb. During rain, it changes into Rainy Form, resembling a water droplet, and in hail or snow, it becomes Snowy Form, a cute little puff of frost. Each form's type and moves change to match the weather, fire, water, or ice. Cast Form's ability is Forecast, which triggers these transformations. Fun fact, even though it looks small and simple, Cast Form's design represents the power of adaptation. It can literally become the weather. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Cast Form. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on Kecleon. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon can literally disappear into its surroundings. It's Kecleon. Kecleon, the color swap Pokemon, is a pure normal type introduced in Generation 3. It's famous for its camouflage ability. It can blend perfectly with its environment, revealing only the zigzag stripe on its belly. Kecleon's signature ability is Color Change, which alters its type to match the type of move it's hit by. It also has Protean as a hitter ability, letting it change its type before using a move. Fun fact, Kecleon can be spotted in the anime by its outline even when it's invisible. Kecleon doesn't evolve, but its unique typing mechanic has inspired abilities for other Pokemon like Greninja's Protean and Cinderace's Libero. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight. Shop it. Hello guys, Paddles Y again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon drifts through the night feeding on human negativity. It's Shuppet. Shuppet, the puppet Pokemon, is a pure ghost type introduced in Generation 3. It's drawn to strong emotions like jealousy and resentment, often gathering near homes where people feel anger or envy. Shuppet evolves into Banette starting at level 37. When it evolves, that bottled up emotion turns into something truly sinister, a haunted doll fueled by pure vengeance. Shuppet can have the ability Insomnia, preventing sleep or frisk, which reveals its opponent's health item. Fun fact, in the anime, Shuppet often plays mischievous pranks rather than truly evil ones. It's more curious than cruel. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Shuppet. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on Banette. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a vengeful spirit trapped in a doll. It's Baynet. Baynet, the marionette Pokemon, is a pure ghost type introduced in Generation 3. It's said to be a doll that was abandoned by its owner and came to life seeking revenge. Its zebra mouth keeps its cursed energy sealed inside. Baynet evolves into from Shuppet, starting at level 37. But that's not all. Baynet can also Mega Evolve using Baynetite. Mega Baynet's energy overflows, turning its zippers into terrifying exhaustions of its spirit power. Baynet's ability is Insomnia or Frisk, while Mega Baynet gains Prankster, letting it use status moves first. Fun fact, despite its dark origins, Baynet's story hints that if it ever finds its lost owner, its vengeful spirit might finally rest in peace. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Baynet. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's spotlight on Duskull. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon lurks in the darkness with a single glowing eye. It's Duskull. Duskull, the Requiem Pokemon, is a pure ghost type introduced in Generation 3. It floats silently through walls, haunting anyone who misbehaves. Its iconic single red eye can move independently inside its cat-like head. Duskull evolves into Dusclops, starting at level 37, becoming even more mysterious and gaining an eerie, mummified appearance. And later, Dusclops evolves into Dusknoir, but that's for another day. Duskull can have Levitate, giving it immunity to ground-type moves. Fun fact, legends say Duskull can chase its targets endlessly, even through walls. Kids in Hoenn often tell stories of seeing that glowing red eye in the dark. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Duskull. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow when we cover Duskull's spooky evolution, Dusclops. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a walking enigma with a bottomless void inside. It's Dusclops. Dusclops, the beacon Pokemon, is a pure ghost type introduced in Generation 3. Its body is said to be completely hollow, a swirling black hole of spirit energy. Anything it absorbs never comes back out. Dusclops evolves from Duskull at level 37 and evolves again into Dusknoir when traded while holding a Reaper Cloth. Each evolution makes its ghostly powers even more controlled and intense. Dusclops can have the ability Pressure, draining more PP from opponents. Fun fact, despite its terrifying lore, Dusclops is often depicted as calm and gentle, just extremely spooky. And that is it for today's episode and Dusclops. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a flying tropical dinosaur with fruit growing from its neck. It's Tropius. Tropius, the fruit Pokemon, is a dual grass flying type introduced in Generation 3. With its leafy wings and towering size, Pokemon soars gleefully over jungles and fields. The fruit around its neck actually grows naturally and kids love eating it. Tropius does not evolve, making it a standalone Pokemon, but its unique design and massive presence make it unforgettable all on its own. Tropius can have chlorophyll or solar power, making it much stronger under sunlight. Fun fact, in some regions, Tropius fruit tastes different depending on the climate, almost like natural regional flavors. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Tropius. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon floats on calming breezes and sings soothing tones. Is Chimecho. Chimecho, the wind chime Pokemon, is a pure psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It attaches itself to tree branches or rooftops with its tail and uses the wind to produce beautiful echoing tones that carry long distances. Chimecho evolves from Chingling when leveled up with high friendship during the night. Once it evolves, its sound-based abilities grow stronger and more melodic. Chimecho can have Levitate, giving it full immunity to ground-type moves. Fun fact, its cry can travel over 6 miles on a quiet night, making it one of the most soothing and sometimes eerie sounds in the Pokemon world. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Chimecho. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon, it's known as the Disaster Pokemon, but not for the reason you think. It's Absol. Absol is a pure dark type introduced in Generation 3, recognized by its scythe-like horn, sleek white fur, and deep red eyes. Absol senses disaster before they happen. Sadly, people often mistake it causing disasters when it's actually trying to warn them. Absol doesn't evolve, but it does have a Mega Evolution. Mega Absol gains angelic wings of energy and an even sharper horn, symbolizing its role as a vigilant guardian. Absol's abilities include Pressure and Super Luck, boosting its chance for critical hits. Fun fact, Absol's warning cry has saved countless lives. Its reputation as a bad omen is completely unfair. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video. And Absol, be sure to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is always smiling, even when it's planning a counter attack. It's Wynaut. Wynaut, the bright Pokemon, is a pure psychic type introduced in Generation 3. Known for its constant green and bouncy body, Wynaut loves to gather in groups and play by headbutting each other. It's how they train their endurance. Wynaut evolves into Wobbuffet starting at level 15. Once it grows up, it focuses completely on countering and enduring attacks, turning that happy little smile into a true defensive powerhouse. Wynaut has the ability Shadow Attack, preventing opponents from escaping. Fun fact, Wynaut's tail is surprisingly important. The eyes on its tail help it sense danger, even when its face looks totally calm and cheerful. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and why not, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon brings frosty vibes and big cozy energy. It's Snorunt. Snorunt, the snow hat Pokemon, is a nice type introduced in Generation 3. It lives in snowy mountains and icy caves, and it's believed that a Snorunt appearing at your door brings good fortune. They always travel in groups to stay warm. Snorunt evolves into Glalie at level 42, but if it's female, it can also evolve into Frostlass when exposed to a Dawnstone, giving it two very different evolutionary paths. Snorunt's abilities include Inner Focus and Ice Body. Fun fact, Snorunt survives by absorbing the warmth from its surroundings, but don't worry, it only takes just enough to stay chilly and comfy. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and Snorunt, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's episode for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a floating face of Frozen Fury. It's Glalie. Glalie, the face Pokemon, is a pure ice type introduced in Generation 3. Its entire body is made of solid ice, surrounded by rocky armor. Glalie can instantly freeze moisture in the air, locking anything in its path inside a block of ice. Glalie evolves from Snorunt at level 42, but it doesn't stop there. Glalie can Mega Evolve. Mega Glalie gains massive jaw strength and can unleash explosive bursts of freezing energy. Glalie's abilities include Inner Focus and Ice Body. Fun fact, Glalie was once believed to be the transformed spirit of a mountaineer who froze to death, giving it its eerie floating face. Through the Pokédex may be exaggerating. So that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and Glalie, don't forget to like and subscribe and don't miss tomorrow's episode for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is round, adorable and loves to clap. It's Spheal. Spheal, the clap Pokemon, is a nice water type introduced in Generation 3. It gets its name from how it moves. Spheal doesn't really walk, it rolls everywhere. When it's happy, it claps its flippers together, making cute squeaky sounds. Spheal evolves into Celio at level 32 and then into Walrein at level 44. Each evolution makes it bigger, stronger and more suited for icy waters and harsh climates. Spheal can have the ability Thick Fat or Ice Body, which makes it super resilient in the cold. Fun fact, Spheal is always hungry. When food is around, it stops what it's doing and rolls toward it without hesitation. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and Spheal, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can come back tomorrow for the next Pokemon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a playful round seal who loves to spin anything it finds. It's Celio. Celio, the ball roll Pokemon, is an ice water type introduced in Generation 3. It's known for balancing objects, Pokeballs, rocks or even Spheal. Celio studies things by touching them with its sensitive whiskers. Celio evolves from Spheal at level 32 and evolves again into Walrein at level 44. As it grows, it becomes stronger, bulkier and more capable of surviving harsh Arctic seas. Celio can have the ability Thick Fat or Ice Body, just like Spheal. Fun fact, Celio are naturally curious. If they find something new, they'll often roll it around on their nose for hours just for fun. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and Celio, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and come back tomorrow for the next Pokémon in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Padelicy again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokémon short series. Today's Pokémon is a powerful Arctic warrior that rules the frozen seas. It's Walrein. Walrein, the Ice Break Pokémon, is an ice water type introduced in Generation 3. Covered in thick blubber and armor-like skin, Walrein can shatter ice flows with a single slam. Its massive tusks are both weapons and tools for protecting its herd. Walrein evolves from Celio at level 44, completing the Spheal evolution line. With this final form, it becomes strong enough to battle predators and survive even the harshest Arctic storms. Walrein can have thick fat or ice body. Fun fact, Walrein fiercely defends its pot. If danger appears, it will place itself between its herd and the threat, using its tusk like giant icy spears. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and Walrein, don't forget to like and subscribe, so come back tomorrow for the next Pokémon in the Hoenn Pokédex. Hello guys, Padelicy again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokémon short series. Today's Pokémon hides a surprising amount of power behind its shell. It's Clamperl. Clamperl, the bivalve Pokémon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. This tiny Pokémon clamps down on its prey with incredible strength. Its shell is so tough that it can withstand enormous pressure from the deep ocean. Clamperl is unique because it has two different evolutions. When traded while holding a deep sea tooth, it becomes Handtail, but traded with a deep sea scales and it evolves into Gorebyss, two very different forms for one little shell. Clamperl's ability is shell armor, preventing critical hits. Fun fact, the shiny pearl inside its shell is said to be more valuable than gold, and some legends say it can amplify psychic energy. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video, and Clamperl, don't forget to like and subscribe, and come back tomorrow when we will reveal one of its evolutions, Handtail. Hello guys, Padelicy again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokémon short series. Today's Pokémon lurks in the pitch black depths of the sea. It's Handtail. Handtail, the deep sea Pokémon, is a water type introduced in Generation 3. Its long gill-like body is built for navigating the crushing pressures of the deep ocean. The glowing lure on its tail attracts curious prey right into its sharp, powerful jaws. Handtail evolves from Clamperl when traded while holding a deep sea tooth. This item boosts its offensive power, which matches Handtail's aggressive predatory nature. Handtail's ability is Swift Swim, letting it move incredibly fast in the rain. Fun fact, despite its scary appearance, Handtail is actually very social. It's been seen swimming alongside others of its kind, forming deep sea schools. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Handtail. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and come back tomorrow when we cover Clamperl's other evolution, Gorebyss. Hello guys, Padelicy again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, the daily Pokémon short series. Today's spotlight shines on the graceful, dazzling, deep sea beauty Gorebyss. Gorebyss, the South Sea Pokémon, is a water type introduced in Generation 3. Don't let its elegant appearance fool you though. Gorebyss is a skilled and ruthless hunter. It uses its long, thin mouth to drain nutrients from prey, thriving in warm southern seas. Gorebyss evolves from Clamperl when traded while holding the deep sea scale. This item enhances its natural grace and defensive traits, shaping it into a very different evolution from Handtail. Gorebyss has the ability Swift Swim, allowing it to glide through the water at high speed during rain. Fun fact, Gorebyss's pink color becomes even more vibrant after feeding. Its beauty literally reflects its health. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute episode and Gorebyss. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and come back tomorrow for more dives in the Pokédex. Hello guys, Padelicy again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokémon short series. Today's featured Pokémon is a living fossil that's barely changed for millions of years, Relicanth. Relicanth, a longevity Pokémon, is a dual type water rock Pokémon introduced in Generation 3. It's modeled after a Coelacanth, an ancient fish thought to be extinct. Its tough, rock-like scales protect it from deep-sea pressure, allowing it to live where sunlight never reaches. Relicanth doesn't evolve, but it plays a legendary role in Hoenn's history, along with Wailord. It was required to unlock the chambers of the Reggie Trio, making it one of the most iconic puzzle Pokémon in the series. Relicanth can have either Swift Swim or Rock Head, letting it power through waves or use recoil moves without taking damage. Fun fact, some Pokédex entries say Relicanth is over 100 million years old with no signs of changing anytime soon. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Relicanth. Hit like and subscribe and dive back in tomorrow for another deep cut from the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is all about love, luck and heart-shaped charm. Say hello to Luvdisc. Luvdisc, the rendezvous Pokemon, is a pure water type introduced in Generation 3. Its heart-shaped body makes it a symbol of romance across the Pokemon world. Couples often spot Luvdisc swimming together in warm tropical seas, making it a favorite sign of good luck in coastal towns. Luvdisc doesn't evolve, but it does have a fun connection. Its design is very similar to Alomomola from Unova, though the two aren't related despite the fun theories. Luvdisc comes with the ability Swift Swim or Hydration, making it shine in raining battles. Fun fact, Luvdisc is known for leaving behind hard scales, which trainers use to help their Pokemon relearn moves, making it one of the most useful cute Pokemon in the series. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Luvdisc. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is famous for its tough head and even tougher determination. Let's talk about Bacon. Bacon, the rock head Pokemon, is a dragon type introduced in Generation 3. Bacon spends its life dreaming of flying, which is why it's often seen smashing its head into rocks. This weird habit actually helps strengthen its skull as it trains to grow stronger. Bacon evolves into Shelgon at level 30 and then finally becomes the mighty Salamence at level 50, achieving the dream of flight when it spouts massive wings. Bacon's ability is Rockhead, meaning it can use recoil moves without taking any damage. Fun fact, in some Pokédex entries it said Bacon leaps off cliffs trying to fly, proof that its determination is as strong as its skull. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Bacon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we follow Bacon's journey to becoming a true dragon. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're looking at the armored unbreakable shell of the Bacon line Shelgon. Shelgon, the endurance Pokemon, is a dragon type introduced in Generation 3. After evolving from Bacon, it seals itself inside a rock-hard shell as it prepares for its final transformation. Its shell is so durable that even strong attacks barely leave a scratch. Shelgon evolves from Bacon at level 30 and then after enduring its time inside the shell, it finally breaks free at level 50 to become the powerful Salamence, gaining the wings Bacon always dreamed of. Shelgon's ability is Rockhead, letting it use recoil moves without taking damage. Fun fact, Shelgon's body inside the shell actually melts into a gelatin-like state as it prepares to evolve, making Salamence's emergence a true metamorphosis. That is it for today's Pokédex episode and Shelgon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we unleash the mighty Salamence. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a dream fulfilled, an unstoppable dragon soaring through the skies. It's Salamence. Salamence, the dragon Pokemon, is a dual type dragon flying powerhouse introduced in Generation 3. After generations of instinct pushing Bacon to leap off cliffs, Salamence finally becomes the winged dragon it always longed to be. Its massive wings let it fly at high speeds while unleashing devastating attacks. Salamence evolves from Shelgon at level 50, completing one of the most iconic dragon evolution lines in Pokemon. In later games, it can even Mega Evolve, gaining a sleek, crescent-shaped wing form and becoming even more terrifying in battle. Salamence's ability is intimidating, instantly lowering its opponent's attack when it enters battle. Fun fact, in its rage, Salamence has been known to burn entire fields with its fire breath. Some legends say its newfound ability to fly overwhelms it with excitement. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a minute video and Salamence. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep watching as we continue our journey through the full Pokédex. Hello guys, Paddle again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a floating hunk of steel with a big brain and a bigger magnetic force. Meet Beldam. Beldam, the Iron Ball Pokemon, is a steel psychic type introduced in Generation 3. Even though it looks robotic, it's actually a living Pokemon. Beldam floats using powerful magnetic waves and communicates by sending electrical pulses to other of its kind. Beldam evolves into Metag at level 20 and eventually into the mighty Metagross at level 45. Each evolution fuses more Beldam together, increasing its strength and intelligence. Beldam's ability is Clear Body, making it immune to stat drops. Fun fact, Beltam has no traditional moves in early games. Its only attack is takedown, which it uses by slamming its entire body into opponents at high speed. And that is it for today's Pokédex enemy video and Beltam. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we evolve Beltam into Metang. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is the next step in a powerful fusion. Say hello to Metang. Metang, the Iron Claw Pokemon, is a steel psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It forms when two Beldam fuse together using strong magnetic forces. Its body becomes incredibly tough and its psychic power doubles, making Metang both physically and mentally formidable. Metang evolves from Beldam at level 20, and when it reaches level 45, it fuses with two more Beldam to become the supercomputer like Metagross. Metang's ability is Clear Body, protecting it from stat drops in battle. Fun fact, Metang can fly at speeds over 60 miles per hour, striking its sharp claws as it charges straight toward targets. Then that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute episode and Metang. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow when we spotlight the powerhouse Metagross. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute episode, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's Pokemon is a Steel Titan with 4 brains working in perfect sync, the mighty Metagross. Metagross, the Iron Leg Pokemon, is a Steel Psychic type introduced in Generation 3. It forms when two Metang fuse together, meaning Metagross is technically made from 4 Beldam. With its supercomputer level intelligence and overwhelming physical power, it's one of the strongest non-legendary Pokemon out there. Metagross evolves from Metang at level 45. In later generations, it can Mega Evolve, gaining even greater speed, attack, and a terrifyingly sleek design that intensifies its psychic abilities. Metagross's ability is Clear Body, which prevents its stats from being lowered. Fun fact, Metagross battles by pinning enemies under its massive body and unleashing incredible force. Its 4 brains allow it to calculate the perfect attack instantly. That is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Metagross. Like, subscribe and come back tomorrow as we continue deeper into the Hoenn Pokédex. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we're awakening one of Hoenn's legendary golems, the mighty Regirock. Regirock, the rock peak Pokemon, is a pure rock type legendary introduced in Generation 3. Its body is made entirely of stones that aren't even from the same region, meaning Regirock constantly repairs itself using rocks it finds nearby. Over time, its body structure can completely change. Regirock is part of the legendary Titan trio, sealed away in ancient ruins across Hoenn. Trainers had to solve cryptic puzzles using the Braille alphabet to awaken it, one of the most iconic challenges in Pokemon history. Regirock's ability is Clear Body, preventing its stats from being lowered. Fun fact, some Pokédex say Regirock has no unknown internal organs. It's literally just held together by an unknown force of energy. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Regirock. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow when we awaken another Titan, Regis. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's legendary Pokemon is cold enough to freeze the air itself. Say hello to Regis. Regis, the Iceberg Pokemon, is a pure ice type legendary introduced in Generation 3. Its entire body is made of Antarctic level ice that never melts, not even under extreme heat. This crystalline Pokemon is so dense that hardly any physical attack can damage it. Like the other Titans, Regis was sealed away in an ancient Hoenn ruins behind Braille puzzles. It's said to have slept in eternal ice, waiting for the moment a worthy trainer could unlock its chamber. Regis' ability is Clear Body, making it immune to stat drops. Fun fact, Regis can drop the temperature around its body to a staggering minus 328 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to instantly freeze foes solid. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Regis. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow when we complete the Titan trio with Registeel. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the Pokemon short series. Today's legendary Titan is forged from metal stronger than anything on Earth. Meet Registeel. Registeel, the Iron Pokemon, is a pure steel type legendary introduced in Generation 3. Its entire body is made from an unknown metal that's harder than any natural substance. Despite its weight, Registeel can flex its body like elastic steel, making it incredibly durable and surprisingly fast. Registeel was sealed within ancient Hoenn ruins, just like Regirock and Regis. Many believe it was created by a long-lost civilization that shaped its body into a perfect mixture of science and mystery. Registeel's ability is Clear Body, preventing its stats from being lowered. Fun fact, Pokédex entries claim its metal body is hollow, yet still unbelievably tough. Scientists can't even scratch it to study what it's made of. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Registeel, like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Hoenn Pokédex. Hello guys, Padre again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's legendary Pokemon is fast, elegant and able to cloak itself from sight. Meet Latias. Latias, the Hoenn Pokémon, is a dual-type dragon, psychic Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. Known for its gentle nature, Latias can reflect human emotions and is incredibly intelligent. It can even fold its arms in to fly like a jet, gliding gracefully through the sky. Latias forms a duo with Latios, and together they are known as the Hoenn duo. Using the feathers on its body, Latias can refract light to become invisible, hiding from danger or observing humans without being seen. Latias' ability is Levitate, granting it immunity to ground-type moves. Fun fact, in multiple Pokédex entries, Latias is described as being able to telepathically communicate, making it one of the most human-connected dragon types in the entire series. That's today's Pokédex in a Minute video for Latias. Like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we cover Latias' equally legendary partner, Latios. Hello guys, Padre again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today's legendary Pokemon is fast, sharp-minded and built for high-speed flight. Meet Latios. Latios, the Hoenn Pokémon, is a dual-type dragon, psychic Pokemon introduced in Generation 3. Known for its incredible intelligence, Latios can understand human speech and is often described as highly protective of those it trusts. Latios is a counterpart to Latias, forming the Hoenn duo. It can fly faster than a jet and prefers to soar at high altitudes where it stays out of sight. Like Latias, it can reflect light to change its appearance, making it difficult for the enemies to track. Latios' ability is Levitate, giving it immunity to ground-type attacks. Fun fact, Latios is known for its high special attack, so high that it became one of the most feared sweepers in competitive play for years. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video, and Latios, don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Hoenn Pokédex. Hello guys, Padre again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we dive deep into the seas to meet the ruler of the oceans itself, Kyogre. Kyogre, the sea basin Pokemon, is a pure water type legendary introduced in Generation 3. This massive whale-like Pokemon is said to have expanded the oceans themselves. In Hoenn mythology, Kyogre represents the power of the sea and is one of the forces in the legendary weather trio. Kyogre is known for its ancient clash with Groudon, the Pokemon that shaped the land. Using its unbelievable power, Kyogre creates downpours and massive tidal waves. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it can undergo primal reversion, transforming into Primal Kyogre, its true ancient form. Kyogre's ability Drizzle summons heavy rain the moment it enters battle. Fun fact, with its signature move Origin Pulse and powerful special stats, Kyogre has dominated competitive battles for years, especially in rain teams. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Kyogre. Be sure to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we explore more legendary Pokemon from the Hoenn region. Hello guys, Padre again here, welcome back to another Pokédex in a Minute video, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we meet the Pokemon said to have created the land itself. It's the mighty Groudon. Groudon, the continent Pokemon, is a ground-type legendary introduced in Generation 3. According to Hoenn legend, Groudon raised continents and expanded the earth with its overwhelming seismic power. Groudon is the eternal rival of Kyogre, where Kyogre brings rain and oceans, Groudon brings sunlight and land. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it can unleash Primal Reversion, transforming into Primal Groudon and Ground Fire type with power said to rival volcanoes. Groudon's ability Draft summons harsh sunlight the moment it enters battle. Fun fact, Primal Groudon gains the ability Desolate Land, making it immune to water type moves, its biggest weakness, turning it into one of the strongest Pokemon ever competitively. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Groudon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we continue exploring the legends of Hoenn. Hello guys, Padre again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute, the daily Pokemon short series. Today we rise above the clouds to meet the legendary ruler of the skies, Rayquaza. Rayquaza, the Sky High Pokemon, is a dragon flying type legendary introduced in Generation 3. This long serpent-like Pokemon lives in the ozone layer far above the world below and descends only when the balance of nature is threatened. Rayquaza is a peacemaker of the weather trio, quelling the ancient battles between Kyogre and Groudon over thousands of years. It's absorbed energy from the meteor's energy that fuels one of the most powerful transformations in Pokemon history, Mega Rayquaza. Rayquaza's ability Hair Roll Lock nullifies all weather effects with its presence. Fun fact, Mega Rayquaza is so strong it created its own competitive tier. The only Pokemon ever forced into anything goes because nothing could fairly match it. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Rayquaza. Be sure to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Hoenn legends. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute and Daily Pokemon Short Series. Today's star is a rare mythical Pokemon said to grant any wish, the mysterious Jirachi. Jirachi, the wish Pokemon, is a steel psychic type mythical introduced in Generation 3. It's known for the tags on its head, called wish tags, where people write their wishes for Jirachi to grant. Jirachi awakens only once every 1000 years, and during that brief period it has the power to grant wishes to those with pure hearts. The rest of the time it sleeps inside a hardened crystal shell to protect itself. Jirachi's ability, Serene Grace, doubles the chance of additional effects, making moves like Iron Head incredibly frustrating for opponents. Fun fact, in the Pokemon movies, Jirachi forms a special bond with Max and shows that even a mythical Pokemon can be surprisingly playful. And that is it for today's Pokédex in a Minute video and Jirachi. Like and subscribe and join us next time as we continue exploring rare, mythical, and legendary Pokemon for the last Pokemon in the Hoenn region. Hello guys, PaddleCY again here, welcome back to another episode of Pokédex in a Minute and Daily Pokemon Short Series, and today we have the Pokemon that comes from this space and can change its form at will, the alien like Deoxys, the last Pokemon in the Hoenn region Pokédex. Deoxys, a DNA Pokemon, is a psychic type mythical introduced in Generation 3. It was created when a space virus was hit by a laser, causing its DNA to mutate into this incredibly powerful Pokemon. Deoxys is famous for having 4 different forms: normal form, attack form, defense form, and speed form. Each one drastically changes its stats and battle style. In the games, Deoxys can shift forms using special meteorites. Deoxys has the ability Pressure, draining opponents' PV as they battle. Fun fact, in the anime, Rayquaza sees Deoxys as a cosmic threat, leading to one of the most cinematic battles in Pokemon history. And that wraps up today's Pokemon Daily and the Hoenn region's Pokédex. Make sure to like and subscribe and come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Pokédex for the Sinnoh region.